So thank you everyone for joining us for Bay Area Older Adults Origami class. Today we're going to be making an origami crane. You can see here. It's got a tail. It's got a head. It's got some nice wings and a nice body. So let's get started. Starting with an 8.5 by 8.5 piece of wrapping paper. It could be used, it could be new. And if you have a colored side of paper that you're using, we're going to have that facing down to start. So the first thing we're going to do is make a horizontal fold. So we're going to be putting this edge of the paper down here up to this edge of the paper up here. Line it up as best as you can, realizing that if you've made your own 8.5 by 8.5 piece of paper, then it's not going to be perfect, but that's okay. And just hold it down with your finger, pull with your other fingers down the center, and then crease going out to the edges. That makes it more likely you're going to have a nice lined up crease. So you see my paper's not perfect over there, but that's okay. So now we'll make some more creases there, make sure they're all nice and tight. Then we're going to open it up again. And then make another crease that's 90 degree or perpendicular to the original crease. So we're taking this edge and putting it up to this top edge. Putting your finger up here, bringing your other fingers down the middle, and then pulling out towards from the center to the edges. Creasing that. Once you get the crease the way you want to, let's just go over it again a few times with your fingers or your fingernails. Open that up. And then we're going to flip the page over so the white of the page is going to go down. And now we're going to make some diagonal folds. So we're going to take this tip and put it up to this tip. Same thing, hold it in your left finger up at the top, bring your right finger down to the center, and then push out to the edges. And once you got that fold good, let's just crease it over again. Now we're going to open this up and do another diagonal fold. Move that 90 degrees so you got a perpendicular diagonal fold. So we're going to be putting this tip up to this tip. And then crease that some more. So once we open this up, we're basically going to be using a base that we've used in our previous classes. So we're going to take our hand underneath this paper, stick your middle or forefinger upright in the center to pop it up, and you'll see there's some three-dimensional structure. And what we're going to do is just bring these corners in towards each other. So you see we've got this nice kind of pyramid structure. Make sure that's all folded. And if you can get this in your hands kind of like this, right? And you're going to fold it down. You might need to stick your finger in there to get it to fold a little better on either side. And then bring it down. So let's just do that one more time. Make sure you got that. We'll flatten this paper out again. Stick your hand underneath and stick your forefinger or your middle finger underneath right at this tip of the pyramid to pop it up. And then grab these edges with your fingers. Pull it in so that we've got this nice, it's a square. It's also a diamond if you put it this way. Now you'll notice it doesn't quite line up nice and flat, so I'll just put my finger up at the top here and just try to line up this edge with this edge on the side. And oops, let's look at this. So we'll open it up, line up these edges, and crease it. Close that back on top of itself and crease it again. So you try to line up these tips over here that are folding on each other. And then once you do that on one side, it should work pretty well. You just want to make sure on this other side things are lined up. Fold it down. And come back here and crease it again. So you just want to try to make sure that all of these little flaps up here are fairly lined up with each other. Okay, so then the next step here, once you've got that all lined up and creased, is we're going to be bringing this edge to the center, like so. And you try to get this tip pointed as best as you can. Start from the tip and then crease out. And again, let's reinforce that. Then you're doing the same thing on the other side. We're going to take this edge and line it up with the center here. So you've got a symmetrical fold. And just work on that tip first. Get that tip looking good. And then after you've lined it up, you can pull away from that tip and crease that fold. Let's crease some more. And then the next thing you're going to do is flip it over and do the same thing on this side. So take this edge, put it to the center here. Start with this tip, get that fold creased, lined up first, and then pull out from there. Crease it some more. Same on the other side. We're taking this edge, put it towards the center. So we got a symmetrical fold. And then crease that really well. Okay, so the next step we're going to do is we're going to fold So the next step we're going to do is fold this tip down so that the fold is across this horizontal line. And crease that well. Lift that back up. Open up the two folds you just did. Lift up this one flap. Stick your thumbs underneath there, and you can bend where this fold you just did is. Lift that up. It's easiest to do the folds here at the bottom because you've already got the creases there. So crease this really well. This top part you're going to have to help with your fingers, and what might help is to just kind of squeeze up there, up to the tip over here. Same thing on the other side, just squeeze gently to get it to fold. And then once you've got it folded, just crease it more tightly. Now we're just going to take that, flip it over, do the same thing on this side, folding that corner back down, making a nice straight line across here. Just crease. Lift it back up, open it up, lift with your thumbs that one layer, that first layer, use that fold to kind of press it open over here. Start with closing these folds together at the bottom. You might have to stick your finger in here to get it going like it should. Crease this. And then, like I showed you before, just kind of pinch your way up to the tip on either side of the top part of this fold. And then reinforce the crease up here and on the bottom. Okay, so now we've got the little flappy legs at the bottom, and then we've got these triangles at the top. So what we want to do now is take this edge and bring it to the middle and do a fold just like we did before. So just one of the layers, we're going to bring that. It's easier to try to line up the tip first, and I realize this is hard because the tip is very thin, and just do your best and then line up the rest of it, and then just press down to get your crease. Then you're going to be bringing this edge to the middle to do it symmetrically. So again, let's just do the tip first as best as we can, and then line up the rest of it to the center line. Increase that. Next, we're going to flip it over, do the same thing on the other side. So again, this side to the center. Start with the tip, and then bring it up to line it up to the middle. Then just press down, increase. Same thing with the other side. This edge goes to the middle, make it symmetrical. And we've got it all lined up again. So now we've got kind of this nice skinny thing. So what do we want to do now? We basically want to work on the head and the tail. So we're going to take this little leg and fold it up. And what we want to do is make this edge parallel to this crease right there, or that fold right there. And make it about 1/2 inch wide in terms of how distant it is. So see right there, it's about 1/2 inch between this fold or that crease and this edge of the paper. And just fold it like that. Then do the same exact thing, just line it up with the other side. And make that crease. Alright, so we're going to make this side the head. So we're going to bring this down and this down. And what we're going to do is open up this side. And you can see that the folds we just did made a crease. And we're going to bring this tip up and fold it in. And then we're going to, even though there's a lot of paper here because of this tip, we're just trying to fold it in half. And it's not going to look perfect. You can see mine's a little ugly. But the main thing is, let's do this again, is we just did this fold. We'll bring it down, and then with those same creases we used for opening this up, I'm going to fold it inward with those creases. So we do that, and then we fold it in half here and line it up the best we can and crease. Then we're just going to do something similar here to finish doing the head. We're just going to bend this paper over just a slight bit, crease it somewhere around over where this corner is, open that up again, and then use that fold to do the same thing. Open it up, fold it in on itself, and then fold this thing in half. And I realize it's a little bit ugly here because the tip is really thin, but you see we've got this little crane head. So now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we made that crease, open it up, and then to make the tail we're just opening this up, folding it in on itself, and then folding this in half. And there you've got the tail. Now on this side, my tail looks a lot better than with the head. Okay, so now we've got the head, we've got the tail. Last thing we need to do is we fold the wing over. So the wing gets folded over so that you see this nice triangle right here. Fold that, flip it over, same thing on the other side. Flip that tail over, Try to line it up with the tail over here so you've got that same triangle exposed here. Crease that. And then the last thing we're doing is we're taking the wings and we're gently pulling them apart. And you can see mine's not working perfectly. Just might need to massage it a little bit, get it to pull out on either side. But you get the point. Basically, we've got the nice body of the crane, looking from all different ends. Got its tail and its head. Well, thank you very much for joining us for the Bay Area Older Adults origami class, where we learned how to make an origami crane, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks. Bye.